So this is problem 1-6 from your textbook, and it asks us to find the lengths AB and BC. So we're going to start by finding the length AB, and I've highlighted the triangle there for you that we're going to be working with in green. So as you can see, now I'm going to use the Pythagorean theorem to find the length of AB. The trick on these problems is finding the right triangle to work with. And by that I mean the correct triangle that has a right angle. Okay? So we know that AD is 16 feet, and I circled that for you. And then BD is 12 feet, and I showed you where I got that from. Sometimes that can be difficult to see as well. So I begin to plug into the Pythagorean theorem. And I say AB squared is equal to 16 feet, the quantity squared, plus 12 feet, the quantity squared. So now it's just a little math. So I get 256 square feet plus 144 square feet. So when we get that, we get AB squared is equal to 400 square feet. Now to find AB, we just take the square root, and we get AB is equal to 20 feet. So we have one part done, just like that. Now we're going to find the second piece. Okay, so I used a different triangle this time, and I highlighted that in yellow. So you can see that we're going to use BC squared is equal to CD squared plus BD squared. So when we plug in for that, CD squared is equal to 32 feet. Okay, that comes from the 16 plus 16 on the bottom of that highlighted yellow triangle. And BD is 12 feet again. So now we're just doing a little math. And we're using our calculator to get 1,024 square feet plus 144 square feet. So BC squared is going to be equal to 1,168 square feet. Take the square root of both sides again to get BC is equal to 34.2 feet. And so that gives us BC. So now you can see I've written the numbers from AB and BC in, and we need to find the angle at A and the angle at C. So we need to look at what we do know. The good news is, for angle A, we know the opposite, the adjacent, and the hypotenuse. But since the numbers I was given were the opposite and the adjacent, those are the ones I'm going to use. So I'm going to use the tangent function. So the tangent of A is going to be equal to the opposite divided by the adjacent. Which one is opposite? It's the 12 feet. And which one's adjacent? It's the 16 feet. Remember, now we're looking at our green triangle. So we start to plug those numbers in. and we get the tangent of A is equal to 0.75. Now to find A, we need to use the inverse tangent function, and that's the little one that looks like tangent with a -1 exponent of 0.75. And when we do that, we're going to get a value of A. That is 36.9 degrees. Okay, be sure you put the units on your answers, please. So now we need to find the angle C. I'm going to write the angle in there for you. And we're going to move on to finding the angle C. As you can guess here, you should see that it's going to work the same way. We're going to use the tangent of C is the opposite over the adjacent. So we have the tangent of C is equal to the opposite's 12 feet and the adjacent is 32 feet. So remember that the tangent of an angle is a unitless number, so you need to be sure that the units do in fact cancel, which they do. The feet cancel the feet in this case, and we plug into our calculator and we get the tangent of C is equal to 0.375. So C is equal to the inverse tangent of 0.375, and we get for a final number that the angle C is equal to 20.6 degrees. Please be sure you put units on your answers. Also, please be sure that when you are working things that you give me as much to work with when you turn in assignments as possible.